San Diego, The Answer.
Portions of today's show may be pre-recorded.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
It's time to get educated on your Second Amendment rights. Welcome to 2 full hours of Gun Owners Radio. Your hosts, Dave Stahl, Joe Germisi, and Michael Schwartz, will teach you about firearms, self-defense, and the laws that affect your rights to keep and bear arms. Visit gunownersradio.com with questions to learn how to become a sponsor of Gun Owners Radio and get involved. Together, we will win. Now here's your hosts, Dave Stahl, Joe Germisi, and Michael Schwartz on The Answer San Diego.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome to Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Well, I tell you what, folks, does selling your home stress you out? Well, it doesn't have to be that way. With Scott Vinson from Coldwell Banker Royal Realty, Scott is the perfect guy to help you sell or buy your home. Scott is also a San Diego County gun owner, board member, and has supported our efforts to defend and restore the Second Amendment from the start. So if you're moving, let fellow Second Amendment supporter and real estate broker Scott Vinson help you sell your home and find you a new home anywhere in the United States. Call him today at 619-948-2459. Tell him you heard it here on Gun Owners Radio. Call Scott at 619-948-2459 or online at scottvinson.com. That's Vinson.
Scott was at Gun Prom last night, Dave.
You survived.
Yeah.
Of course, now you've already started on 22, right?
Yeah. So seriously, yeah.
You think I'm kidding? I know you.
Already have notes. We're already planning for 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I heard it was off the charts.
I think so. You got some positive?
My very critical wife and her little friends that sat at table 11.
Oh, that's right. Nice.
Yeah. I sent him in there. I said, I want a critique.
You had spies?
The food she said, was amazing. She said, I got chicken and beef.
Yeah.
And she said the food was good. And for her to say she was stuffed, that said a lot. She said the auctions items were just off the charts.
They were very, very cool.
Yeah. She said the whole event, and then you had the young lady that was
Haley. We've interviewed her.
I know, that's what I told her. She says, just tore her up. She says, man, I was in tears listening to her talk.
Yeah. She was a very powerful message.
Yeah.
She was there with her dad and her grandparents.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And because she lives up north a little bit.
So how'd the town and country work out? Has it worked out good?
I think it worked out really well. We'll stay tuned for
well, I knew that.
for the exact date, but the next one is next May already.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be the same venue because I think it worked out really, really well.
Yeah, that's excellent. All right.
Yeah. So let's we got a couple people. We got Joe, you were at Gun Prom.
I was.
What'd you think?
All the above. Thought it was wonderful.
Yeah.
It went really well. I got to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while because, you get to see there's annual people.
Yeah.
I got to see Morgan flying in from Idaho.
Yeah.
I got to see Joe Hollywood.
Yeah.
We got to talk boots for a while. Got to talk hats with Scott. So it was, it was good.
Yeah. Joe tried to get me to Joe Holyfield.
Holyfield, right?
Yeah. He tried to get me. He was trying to get me to dance on the dance floor.
Was he dancing on the dance floor?
He was dancing on the dance
floor. So he was well lubricated
too.
He was well lubricated.
Yeah, he might have had a few.
Yeah, just a
Should put you up for auction.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And Ursula Williams,
Yeah.
welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much.
Did you have fun last night?
Oh my God, I had so much fun. So
name another event you've been to that's as much fun as Gun Prom.
None. I got to dress up for one, and look, I still got all my fake nails from last night.
Look at you.
I felt, oh my God, taking out my contacts half drunk last night was like an adventure in itself.
And couldn't shoot a gun if your life depended on it with those things.
With this, I can still shoot. That's why I got them nice and short. But at the same time, it was like, oh my God, this is so weird. This is not my norm.
Hey, if Melissa can shoot with her nails, you can shoot with those nails. Right?
And Melissa, and I actually sent her a receipt tonight. But she actually had a knife fighting class today. That's why she's out here today. So she actually kind of dipped out of prom pretty
with long nails, with knife side cut.
Hey, there should be no excuse.
There should be.
If I took a knife fighting class, you know what I would bring?
A gun.
Running
gun.
shoes.
Yeah,
Gun,
exactly.
Yeah. But prom last night was really awesome. Got to dress up and see some annual people, and actually seen some people that I haven't seen in almost 2 years because like SHOT Show was canceled,
right.
NRA was canceled,
right.
things like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to next year. It'll be super fun, and the auction items are all awesome.
I know. How many guns did you auction off?
It was like
35.
40, almost 40. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's like me and
I try
900
not to
other
get into the
people.
auction, though.
I think me and about 900 other people were looking at that Savage
Is it-
6.5
I saw that
Creedmoor.
Savage.
Is this
6.5,
crying? Is this crying in his beer that he didn't win?
No, somebody won it.
Yeah, I was just
Somebody
gonna
won
say you're crying in your beer. You didn't get it. How many tickets did you buy?
I bought enough. I think I had enough fixed
His
stack.
his wife's listening.
So that Savage is donated by Gunfighter Tactical. I got to say, Gunfighter Tactical was the most talked about again.
Premier
every year. They always do custom. They had a custom Glock that was
Vans,
Vans themed. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
That was cool, right?
Yeah. So since pregame of the tonight's show, we were chatting about some gripes, or not even gripes, some concerns, things that pretty much that probably should be looked into, maybe not.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
All right.
So my whole thing, because I saw that 17, and I'm like, I didn't recognize the trigger because I didn't know if that was Gunfighter's own proprietary trigger, their own aftermarket that they made. Nobody knew at the table. I was like, well, can I at least dry fire it? They're like, no, you can't handle any guns. I'm like, I'm not used to that, not one bit. Maybe because I'm
Welcome
from Arizona.
to California.
I'm like, look, if I might put a bid in on this, I need to know like how I feel before that'd be the first thing I change. And I still don't know.
Should have went outside.
We'd have to. It's not a bad.
Yeah.
We'd have to. I don't know what we'd have to do because it's all in a square. I don't know. Well, all right.
How about have a room? How about have it like an enclosed room with a door that's lockable?
Why don't we'll just send you into the bathroom? You could.
That works. I mean, I'm like, it wasn't like I'm gonna be out there just waving it around like, hey, I just want to dry fire.
No, they
to
know
see what
you.
the trigger
They
is.
know you're going to load it and shoot a pigeon. If you can take
Not
that
in
pigeon,
Cali.
you take that pigeon out. I'm buying this gun.
But it did look pretty cool. It was the checker van theme, so that was actually that caught my eye. That Savage, that 110, that was in 6.5. That was
them
pretty
too.
cool.
That was Gunfighter Tactical too.
Well, and then we had Russ, who is just a listener.
Yep.
And he worked really hard on the gun that he donated. And he I guess he got to meet the guy that won it. And he was, guy was pretty excited about that.
I'll bet Russ is the best. If you're listening,
Isn't he
man,
amazing?
Such a generous, nice guy.
Yeah, he really,
Have to
really,
say hello
really.
to him.
He gave
Very
me a
briefly.
fork from
Was it in
World
the
War
road?
II.
A fork from World War II.
He gave one for me and my wife. And guess what we used for dinner?
A World War II fork.
You haven't lived until you've seen a fork from World War II.
That's not something you hear about a whole lot.
No, not one bit.
But I was looking for the spoon and the knife.
Gotta have the whole
Maybe
set.
next year.
That's what I'm hoping. My birthday.
So before we go to a commercial break, everybody, this week is San Diego County Gun Owners Monthly Meetings. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have the Central, North, and South County meetings. Go to SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com to check out and see when your meeting
In
is.
person?
In person, absolutely. And then Orange County, your meeting's next week. So if you're listening from Orange County, go to OrangeCountyGunOwners.com. Check out when that is. Then, of course, Riverside and San Bernardino, which if you haven't heard, Riverside and San Bernardino County Gun Owners, they are now combining to form Inland Empire Gun Owners to make things more efficient, more cooperation. So check out the monthly meetings. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you actually can get involved and do something rather than just complain about it.
When is that going to happen, Mike, with the Inland Empire?
It will happen on it's happening. It'll fully happen. So they're going to have their Christmas party in December, and that we're actually going to roll out merchandise, Inland Empire merchandise. So it'll happen in the month of November, and it'll be fully done in December. It's kind of a gradual thing because you got to change the social media. You have to do all the stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was
we're
wondering
doing
when all
it,
that's
and
going to
it'll
happen.
be fully done by December.
Oh, cool.
But it's it's going to be a really good thing. Inland Empire is San Bernardino and Riverside County. Most people live kind of on the border along the Interstate 10, right along there, 15 Interstate 10. So, let's just do Inland Empire. Everybody, you don't have to figure out like, well, gee, am I a Riverside or something? Let's all just get together and fight the same fight. So very, very excited about that. Anyway, I wanted to hit that before we went to the commercial break, Dave.
Sounds like a plan, Sam. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Listen to Gun Owners Radio, and don't forget, more Gun Prom information right after this break on Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Hi everyone, I'm Monique, and this is your activist update. Whew, September was a big month for our meetings. Something cool was happening all over Southern California, and I am here to tell you all about it. San Diego had their 3 meetings, and we all had a lot of fun, so thank you to BB's in Fallbrook, Poway Weapons and Gear, and La Bella's Pizza down in Chula Vista for allowing our activities to invade your shop. All the talk in San Diego? Well, it was about our 5th lawsuit. Last month, the City Council for San Diego voted to ban kits that people use to make home firearms. SDCGO fought it at the City Council meetings and did all we could, but they passed it anyway. So we partnered with Firearms Policy Coalition and filed a lawsuit against the City of San Diego. For more information on the lawsuit, go to sdcgo.org/lawsuits and look for the FAR versus San Diego section. Orange County gun owners had a really cool monthly meeting led by Executive Director Steve Mills. OCGO board member Evan Wang talked about their new efforts to set up a gun shop tabletop program to help spread our pro-Second Amendment message across the country. Look for opportunities to volunteer and get involved with Orange County gun owners. San Bernardino County gun owners met.
All right, folks, welcome back to Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer. 2 years in the making, our Second Amendment celebration dinner.
And you survived.
And we survived.
That's the main thing. Hey, self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and there's no guarantee that the justice system will be on your side. Make sure you are protected for the legal battle after your self-defense battle. While you protect your family and property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year with a comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Bad guys don't take days off, and neither does our coverage. Listeners get a free T-shirt when you use the code GUNOWNERSRADIO. Sign up today. Go to uslawshield.com. All right, back to the Gun Prom Recap.
And we're here with Ursula Williams,
Yep.
3-gun competition extraordinaire.
Yeah.
I like extraordinaire better.
Thank you.
Makes me sound
I do too.
Yeah.
important. Or makes you sound important, makes me sound smart.
There we go. I'll take that.
And of course, we have Chris Cheng in the studio too, but he's not quite here yet. He's going to be here, I think, in the next segment. Mm-hmm. But so, did you just come to town for Gun Prom?
I did because somebody invited me to Gun Prom back in like March.
That's
when
right.
I came out
On
here.
air, if
on
I'm
air.
not mistaken.
Yep. So
it wasn't an invite; it was a challenge.
you're like, hey, dress up and come talk guns.
Yeah.
Of course, duh.
It was a gauntlet thrown.
It was really fun. I had it was a great experience food wise. So I don't eat meat or dairy or that's another reason why I can afford ammo. But
What did
You cut out meat and dairy to
meat,
afford
dairy,
ammo?
eggs. Yeah,
That's
hey.
a commitment.
So you brought
I
your
love
own
more.
peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Is that
No,
what you're
I
telling
totally
me?
would have. That's actually a hangover food for me. But
You should have brought it.
No, but their options were great. I had a nice full what was it, 4-course meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at Joe?
Yeah, sure.
Because I would know.
Because
right?
he would know.
If there's a guy,
Mike was on stage talking most of the time. I'm not even sure if he ate. So
I didn't.
Which
we went out
courses?
for
Well, let's
Mexican
see, you
after.
So we count the salad, we count the
salad.
meat and the chicken, we
I
count
had
the
a
bread pudding.
cauliflower steak, and some other veggies.
Yeah,
It was
she
really
doesn't
good.
eat
Cauliflower
meat. She
steak.
doesn't
And
eat
then I
meat
had
or chicken.
a bowl of fruit for dessert. So and
Oh, yeah,
wine.
you had different
wine.
courses than I had.
You were not the only vegan there that
I
day.
was not.
Someone
Actually,
else told us about
there
the
was
cauliflower steak.
There was like 3 others that was there. And they all started to follow me on Instagram. I was like, oh, this is cool. So I'm meeting all these other tactical vegans, which is great. So
No. We actually just came up with a term. My buddy here, Paul, just came up with a term.
What was it?
Vegan.
Vegan.
Spell it.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah.
I totally love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's
But no.
the only reason he came.
Yeah.
You're right.
Just
He earned his keep.
He's earned his keep, yeah.
With
Now
that,
he
with
can
that one line.
Now
Yeah.
he can sleep in the house tonight.
He's off mic, but he's my buddy from high school. We went to high school together.
Isn't that
Wow.
amazing?
Wow, I wasn't that amazing.
Could
if
you,
if you saw me in high school and how I treated it, no, it wasn't that amazing.
Could
it's
you-
amazing I got out.
Could you leave the room for about
No, I
15
can't
minutes
leave the
segment?
So we
and then
just
we'll
get
put
dirty
him on
secrets?
air.
No,
We'll
that's not a
find
good
out
idea.
stories about
What
Mike.
said. They're not. They're all boring.
Did you watch Red Dawn?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's the only reason he's your friend, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
All right,
but-
getting back to Gun Prom.
Yes.
No,
get
it was
back.
cool. Yeah,
I thought
definitely had fun.
one of the cool drawings was Discount Gun Mart, who owner JB Gray won our lifetime achievement. He was a lifetime achievement award winner last night.
Wow.
Congratulations, JB. But he donated. It was kind of cool. He donated their prize were 5 shields, 5 Smith & Wesson shields, which is kind of cool. So you got 5 winners. One ticket in there got you 5 chances to win a shield. Which, of course, in California, I know in Arizona, you guys have all kinds of guns.
all the things.
Yeah, you have all the things. But in California, that's one of the few carry guns options that we have is a shield.
The only
they're
one.
really there's a shield, there's a different caliber shield, and
another
Yeah,
shield.
very much. Yeah.
and no, there's a shield, and then what else? Like I carry a 19.
Well, yeah, the Glocks. That's what everybody has, really.
But even Glock, like there's a 26, but like the 43s, the 42s, nope, can't get it out here.
Is it because Glock they don't want to pay to have that on the roster?
Well, it's more than paying. So that you actually
Oh,
have to
yeah.
have a micro stamp that puts a serial number on the casing as it before it ejects. And that doesn't that technology
Right.
literally
which nobody can do.
Yeah.
No.
But
So
that's the
even
law.
if they paid, Glock would pay $100,000,
Sure.
here. But it's that technology that's missing, so they're unable to even get it.
And if they did allow it and it met all of the ramifications to get on our list, we have to remove 2 or 3.
Yeah, for every one you put on, you have to remove 3, I think.
Yeah. So we'd have to remove 3.
It's
and
irrelevant because you can't get one on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And we only have 4 on the list. So it just really doesn't work mathematically, if you know where I'm going with this.
Because I looked at the list, at the roster, and there was stuff that didn't really make any kind of sense that was on there.
You're in
but
California.
Like what?
I know. I think I saw a Steyr on there, and that didn't make sense. I'm like, if people can't even carry normal guns, why a Steyr?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Different
Maybe just
color,
wait.
different colors or different guns.
And look at the generation of Glock that you can carry. I think
yeah,
it's
it was like Gen
old-
3, one,
That's
2, and
it.
3.
Yeah.
4s and 5s are not on the list.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the same company.
Isn't that ridiculous?
So you're
It
not-
is.
And you're sponsored by, we were just talking about, you're sponsored by Staccato.
Yes, which
don't-
was STI changed their name to Staccato.
And
And-
I don't think they don't have a single gun.
Nope. However, there's different police agencies that can carry them, which I think that's
Not in California.
Maybe in Arizona, I'm like, yay, freedom, all the guns. But over here, the
is
fact
that.
that the cops can carry guns that citizens can't, that
Crazy.
doesn't sit right with me.
That's crazy.
So now you have at least one Staccato.
I have 5.
You have 5 Staccatos.
Yes.
Do you carry a Staccato? Is that an everyday carry for you, or is it just
Yes.
competition?
Well, one thing that STI did when they changed their name to Staccato was basically take all that competition technology and put it in everyday carry guns. So depending on what I'm wearing, because out in Arizona, like there's booty short weather and then there's like sweatshirt weather.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like,
Believe me.
yeah,
Well
like,
aware of
right
my
next
booty
door.
short weather. Yeah.
So pretty much like I'll carry a Staccato C, which is simple, small, single stack,
Yeah.
8+1. And these are all 9 mils, by the way.
Is that a compact or is that
That'll be
subcompact?
considered compact. It's going to be like
like a 26
kind of like
that
a
size?
not that small, like a 1911, like a range officer size.
Okay.
So it's like a 3.9-inch barrel, very simple stuff. And then there's a double stack version of that, the C2, and that's like my sweatshirt winter carry, type of gun.
So you're carrying it. It's not on the safe handgun roster. Is it fairly dangerous for you in Arizona to carry a Staccato? Is it?
I know, because
Isn't that ridiculous?
I
I
know
mean-
that's how crazy Cali is.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, what can other states do to help y'all?
Yeah.
And that was a question that we had on my
Right.
show, and I think your response was like, "Well, if y'all can stop talking smack about us, that'd be great.
That'd be hel- yeah,
that'd
that'd
be helpful.
That'd be a good start.
But you can definitely help out with a lot of the legislation here, and basically raising more money for y'all to fight all this BS that's happening out here."
I was talking. So John Petrolino, I don't know if you know, he's an author, writes a bunch of Second Amendment articles. Really great guy. And he and I were talking about. He's in New Jersey, the other horrible gun state.
Yeah.
Well, one of the other horrible gun states. And he and I were talking about trying to promote an idea where if you live in one of the 40, pro gun states, that you adopt an organization from behind enemy lines and support them. So if you're in Oklahoma, find an organization in California or New Jersey or Illinois and support them, even though you don't live there.
Right.
That was, I don't know if that's going to.
I would adopt us.
Yeah, adopt. It was adopt a gun advocate.
Adopt a gun.
We could be like cool. the Sally Struthers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get on there and cry on TV. That'd be great.
$0.50 a day. You could.
Yeah, I know.
Can you?
So like
for $9 a day.
So not only do I support y'all, but I also support. I don't know if you know Tony Simon. He's also in New Jersey, and his thing is it's called The Second Is for Everyone. And every month he actually holds what's called a diversity shoot. So basically what that is that pretty much you can go to the range. Tickets are like $20. There's pizza. There's prizes. And you get to shoot whatever guns you want. You just buy your ammo.
Wow.
And pretty much, and that gets people into guns. And then you can start getting them on like your actual like legislative stuff. The actual meat and potatoes. But you just kind of use the guns and like, you can shoot all this cool stuff. Like you have, this caliber, this gun, this fancy gun, this like, basic gun. But it gets them through the door going from, I'm curious about guns and now I need to start fighting for my rights. So that's one thing I love that he's doing. So, and there's all types of sponsors that go out there and, help him out run those. And granted, he's in Jersey. He's been holding most of them in Pennsylvania. Because of all the laws.
They really do. New Jersey. Joe, you're from New Jersey, aren't you, originally?
I am.
Do you spend a lot of time going back there?
No, I don't.
That's how you can tell you're from New Jersey. You never go back there.
Yeah, no, it's a shame. It's like out here. It's a beautiful state. People don't understand. They don't call it the Garden State for nothing. I mean, it's gorgeous.
And you have cicadas.
The southern end of the state. Yeah, giant, mosquitoes and stuff. But no, I don't go back there, and that's part of the reason. It's just like, God, I live in a almost a communist country out here. That's one of the few. That's one of the few that's worse. And even things like just like having an empty shell casing. That gets stuck somewhere, and then somebody sees that. I mean, you can throw over those things.
Yep.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So with 5 staccatos, how do you decide which one you're gonna?
It's all about what I'm wearing.
I guess if you have 5 staccatos, you don't actually.
I don't carry all 5 of them at the same time.
You don't pick one, you pluck it.
I pluck it?
Because it's a staccato.
Get it?
All right.
Yeah.
Dad joke.
So that's part of your wardrobe.
It's a horrible.
Yes.
First I pick out my shoes, then I pick out my dress, and then I pick out my staccato.
What I'm wearing, cool, and then what gun I'm going to get. What gun I'm going to wear.
Yeah.
Pretty much what I'm doing. But it also depends on like where I'm going. So like if I'm going to a spot that might have a lot of people, I might want to go with the staccato with the C2 because that's the 16+1 capacity. And
okay. So did
really?
you drive?
You really think it out that way?
Yeah. If I'm going,
I know how this girl rolls.
Some shady neighborhood for tacos, I'm gonna carry more ammo.
I know how this girl rolls.
I'm not gonna lie.
How good must those tacos be? If
all the good tacos are in dangerous neighborhoods, we know this.
I need 16 rounds.
Right.
Hey, I'm just saying, just in case.
When I come to Arizona,
might not be there for tacos too. So
I want those tacos. They sound delicious.
Yes, they're in the ghetto though.
So
I'm talking about South Phoenix ghetto.
Do you drive over from Arizona?
Yes.
Now, what happens when you go through the checkpoint?
Oh my God! I try to act normal. I probably look so suspicious.
You don't look suspicious.
Yeah,
but
I smile and wave.
Yeah, because it just have you ever been stopped or turned
But you can
upside?
you feel the oppression though as soon as you come down.
I know. As soon as I see the welcome to California sign, I'm like, I'm a felon, and just keep driving.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that I'm there, and Cali is kind of like probably one of my
scariest.
No, it's kind of like almost a little secret like pleasure thing because I love Cali. It's super gorgeous, but the thing that's holding me back from ever moving here is going to be all the guns.
Our freedom of speech is just as important as our freedom of self-defense, and we are thrilled to support an American company like MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com and use code FREEMARKET3 and get up to a 66% off America's best best pillow. Get a good night's sleep and enjoy the satisfaction of supporting companies fighting against cancel culture. That's mypillow.com and use promo code FREEMARKET3 for up to 66% off.
So Joe, what did you bid? Would you bid on anything? Did you put what was like the one you was it?
It was the Savage rifle was the one I really wanted because I have a lot of the other. I mean, I could always use a 1911, so I threw some tickets into the which one was that? They had a 1911 there.
It was at Rock Island.
Yeah, Rock Island.
So you didn't win anything?
No, but that's not the point. The
Yes,
point
it
is to
is.
contribute more money.
Tell the truth. I
So,
know you were kicking and screaming. You didn't win, though.
but
Well, I did that, and I threw some tickets into the Shield too because I don't have a Shield. So
Yeah. So being in Arizona, it was kind of hard for me to even bid on stuff because I was just like,
I got
I
that.
kind of don't want this Cali modified rifle.
Yeah, right. What am I going to do?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to
don't need a
take.
wing or
I have to
anything
take it
else.
home, take it all
Throw it apart.
apart,
I gotta
throw all that
Americanize
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You know, I didn't see who won the. Did you guys throw tickets into the 1% lower?
no,
Did
I
you
did
see
not.
that?
Was that the? Because there was. I thought that was
1%
from
lower.
Is the 1% lower?
Slogo. Was it from Sons of Liberty?
Well, what is that? Like a block of steel or
Yeah, it was
something?
a piece of wood.
It's a piece of wood.
It was a
Oh,
piece of
no.
wood, and we took a Sharpie and wrote 1% lower.
That's so funny.
Oh,
I
that's still
totally got it.
legal.
But
It was actually Mike Kimball, if you're listening, thanks. He actually gave it to me as kind of a gag gift for lunch, and I thought, you know what, we're putting that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
How many tickets you get?
Well, I don't know. We got to look that up to see. I wonder if somebody won it. We should have gotten.
You got your picture taken and
Yeah.
sent it to Sacramento
Yeah.
and
Put like a, not signed by Gavin Newsom.
take it
something
down to an FFL, see if you can get it registered.
I don't know. I got so busy.
Really?
I wanted to.
I heard you were chilling.
shocking.
Yeah.
Trying to put on one of the biggest parties to happen this year.
1,000 people, 999 people.
Yep.
1,000
If
people.
you'd had 1,000, you'd have never made it. That's all there is to it.
What's the rule change? Are you like a stadium or something if you break 1,000?
Yeah, well, so we were headed towards 1,000, and I basically you saw how that room's huge.
Mm-hmm.
We could have fit 200, 300, 400 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were just going to go for it. We were just let's just keep going. But then California said if you have an indoor event of 1,000 or more, then everyone has to prove that they've either been vaccinated or tested within the last 24 hours. And I kind of figured that our guests wouldn't go for that.
Yeah. No.
So I said, all right. So we capped it at 999.
They say, hey, you have to prove it. We could just take their word, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so you were talking about things to think about for next year.
Yeah.
There was the only thing that came up from table 11
Oh.
was the low light.
Okay.
They had to use their iPhones to eat their salad
How do you use an iPhone to eat your salad?
because they couldn't see.
The light.
it.
Oh, that makes
Flashlight option. Yeah.
All
But
right.
but then all of a sudden the lights came on.
It was mood lighting.
Oh, that's what I tried to tell everybody at table 11.
Table 11. That was the rowdiest table, Dave.
I know.
We seriously almost had to
That's
kick
what
them
I.
out.
That's what I
Check 'em out.
heard.
My table was dope.
Tell us about your table.
Was it dark or was it light?
It was very lit. It was right in the middle too, 52.
Yeah.
So I had Chris Cheng was there. I had Jamie Franks, who was also on Top Shot as well.
I didn't run into him.
Yeah, he
You had the
apparently-
high end table.
Yeah, it was a very nice table. Of course, Rich was there and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jamie actually put up a package for the raffle or for the auction. excuse me.
Yeah, we auctioned him and Matt Clear from active
Active shooter training.
active shooter defense school, ASDS.
So I thought that was actually pretty awesome. And then they decided to give away auction off 2 packages
Oh, nice.
instead of just one. So
Oh, nice.
It was
Those
the
guys
last
are the
minute.
best.
they are awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jamie's. He. How come every show we got to talk about Red Dawn? Every show we got to talk about Red Dawn. Jamie and I are like, we talk about Red Dawn the way like physicists talk about like Einstein. It's really gross, but
It is
he's a
not.
good
You
dude.
love it to death. Look at
He
him.
loves
Look at
it.
him all beaming over
Yeah.
here.
He's a good dude. I like Jamie a lot.
That's because he's a Red Dawn fan.
Yep.
If you're not, you're done.
Joe, what
Get
was your
off the show.
what was your favorite dinner moment? It says here on the script I'm supposed to ask you that.
My favorite dinner moment?
Yeah,
You have a dinner
a
moment?
dinner moment.
No, I was trying to figure out the salad dressing was cool because we had that down the colors, but again because of the lighting, we couldn't really tell.
Ah!
Yeah.
But,
What table were
I
you
went
at?
I went with the green. I was at 68.
Okay, so right now,
Way
table
away from 11.
68.
So that was the zone, 11 to 68.
Yeah, that was the lighting
horrible.
zone.
Could have been. Well, because I had the lighting was different anyway. One of the comments at our table was, whoever was running the lighting maybe should start drinking after the event rather than before the event. Because
I
it
thought the
seemed
lighting
like,
was cool.
well, the lighting
Maybe
was okay,
maybe
but
my
it was,
young guys were
Well,
like,
table
oh,
11 did
it was
say
coming
it was
on and going
mood
off
lighting.
and coming on and going off at like strange
Yeah.
interval. I couldn't
Well,
couldn't
there's also
coordinate
everything
it.
going on the stage too.
Well,
so.
and that's what we thought it should be coordinated with, but we couldn't catch it for some reason.
We
It
weren't.
seemed like
we
it
weren't.
was.
Listen, we're not. If you want a coordinated dinner, Joe.
Yeah, right. Go to another gun prom.
Oh my gosh! Actually, part of it was so the back third of the room is where all the guns were.
Mm-hmm.
So people didn't want to leave. They were like there were people back there like basically the whole dinner. So they were trying to figure that out. Like they're like, hey, we need to do the low lighting for that.
If that's the biggest complaint you got was lighting,
was lighting.
I'll take it.
That's why
That's
we do
good.
this every year, right? Eventually, it'll be perfect.
Yeah, eventually
but,
we'll get it right.
but it's still fun.
But no, everything.
They wanted to see the guns.
Yeah, everybody wanted to see the guns.
Yeah,
I looked, even though I was like,
It
I
must
need
have been
all this.
successful. I didn't see my wife until like midnight.
Really? Because it was
Yeah.
over at like 6 p.m. Dave.
That is table 11. Write that down. Oh, I see how that rolled.
But no, we were,
That's a
we
good
were,
one. That's a good one.
we were joking about that stuff at the table, but everybody at our table was really happy. The two couples that I had there that I wanted to join actually joined.
Nice.
So we picked that up. The other couple that was cranky have been members for years and years, so it doesn't matter. So, no, everybody enjoyed it at our table. They had a good time. So it
Table
was a great
11,
event.
except for Bob, is gonna I think they're all gonna do Not Me SD.
Oh, cool.
cool.
Very nice.
And that was the whole purpose of me doing it. I told my wife, I says, I want you to take people with you that you could do Not Me SD with. And she thought that was a great idea. So everybody at that table will be signing up.
Well, there are two ladies that I definitely want to mention that did a fantastic job. First off is the reason it was so smooth, even though we had 1,000 people.
No, you only had 999.
Gavin, if you're listening.
Yes.
Is because of Wendy. Wendy did a fantastic job. We're talking, 14, 16-hour days.
Yeah.
She was Johnny on the spot with, people, the weeks leading up, hey, take this person off my table, put that person on my table. Hey, we need responses from this table, that table. She worked the timeline. She worked everything. She made that dinner happen. She made that dinner run as smoother than any other dinner that we've ever run. We're not a dinner organization. We're, newsflash. We're a Second Amendment organization.
Yeah.
But we do this because it's an important community building event and people like it, and it's a great fundraiser for us. But it's kind of one of it's one of those deals. It's not exactly in our job description, and Wendy just knocked it out of the
Well,
park.
no, and that's
She did
a
great
huge amount of work. I mean, coordinating something with 1,000 people, and like you were saying, everybody's got. I sent Wendy email. Hey, Wendy, can you do this?
Yeah, I
Can
know,
you do that?"
Joe.
Yeah, it's
I know.
Yeah, they've seen that email.
Well aware of the emails you said. No, it's fine.
No, but like the detail of even just the tables, the little things like, there was pint glasses everywhere. There was challenge coins everywhere.
Yep.
But everything had a place, and it was just really, really cute. I
She
liked it.
set every single table by herself. No, I'm kidding. She didn't do that.
You did.
But there was a whole it takes months. Hey, what are we going to put here? What are we going to put there? The other person is
Better
Monique.
mention Desi.
Yep, which she did a good job, but that's not where I was going. Thanks for throwing me under the bus there, Dave. Desi did a great job too. Her talk was fantastic, and she was she's wonderful in every single way. But Monique Hawk was our MC. Now she does our activist update videos.
Oh yeah.
She did a great job. She's never MC'd a dinner before, but she actually I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. Her car broke down on the way in. Her car broke down, so I get a text, and she's like, I got to get this towed. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, it's okay, we'll get it handled. So she gets there late, and I'm just like, hey, why don't you just sit down? She's like, no, I'm good. Went right up, boom, rolled into MCing our dinner. And she did a great job.
Yeah.
A trooper.
If I broke down on the side of the road, like I would just be in the fetal position for like a week, And Monique's just like, yep, let's get this done. No problem.
Yeah, no sense crying over spilt oil, as the old saying goes.
I get it.
So how much was raised? Do y'all have figures yet?
I've been waiting for that.
So no, we don't have figures, but grossly over 100,000.
Nice.
Net, I'm not quite sure. Might be close to $100,000. But what that does is that allows us. We're going into an election year, so what that allows us to do is support candidates, get them elected. It allows us to. There was a lot of money raised just for Not Me SD.
Oh, excellent.
So that allows us to continue those programs, make sure that they're run efficiently, grant training in firearms to women who need it, that sort of thing.
Police officer training.
Yeah, I mean, there really is, for San Diego County gun owners, there's really only 3 sources of revenue, and that's our membership, every month or year, depending on what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Our Christmas party, believe it or not, we have a nice big fundraiser at our Christmas party that everybody loves, but it's not a huge source, but we actually end up raising some money at the Christmas party. And the dinner. Those are the 3 sources of revenue. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all we got. So the dinner was very, very successful, the most successful, and that's how we do all the things that we do. That's how we organize. That's how we run the programs. That's how we get involved and are effective in politics.
And would you say every year gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger?
Like exponentially. So last year's dinner, we did not clear 100,000, and we had about 600. I think we had 625. This year, I'm pretty positive we did. I got to look at the
numbers.
Yeah, I got to look at the numbers and get it all situated. We had went from 625 to 999, which is great, and it was super helpful because we didn't have a dinner last year because of COVID.
Yeah.
So,
is there somebody else on the list that you probably should talk about? Her name is Laura.
Absolutely not. Of course, Laura did a fantastic job, but there were a lot of people. There were a ton
more than you can name.
Truly, I think we had a couple dozen volunteers.
But you live with Laura. Is the only point I'm bringing up here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there.
Thanks, Dave.
She will send me a text.
Second bus I've been thrown under in one segment.
Hey, I'm here to help.
That's what it feels like. Next, we're going to hear from John Dillon. We have a question from a caller, but first, did you know law-abiding gun shops and manufacturers had their credit card processing shut down because their vendors think guns are inappropriate? Well, shutting down businesses that support your constitutional right to self-defense is wrong, which is why we are so excited to have 365 Glacier Payments as a 10-ring partner. 365 Glacier Payments specializes in companies in the firearms industry. And if you have a business that accepts credit cards, give them a call today so you can enjoy the peace of mind that your account won't be shut down and also enjoy the best rates. Visit their website at 365glacierpayments.com and ask for a free account review. And if they can't beat your credit card processing rates, they'll pay you $100. All right, Michael, what are we doing next? We're talking to attorney John Dillon. First, I want to introduce Chris Cheng. How are you, man?
Hey, Chris.
I'm doing good.
Awesome. Well, let's give you a microphone.
Hey, I'm doing good. Happy to be here and excited to chat about all the things.
Yeah, awesome. Very, very cool. And you have some really cool things that we're going to talk about. But first, let's go to John Dillon, attorney John Dillon, attorney extraordinaire.
Absolutely.
That's my word for the day.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I actually, I was at the dinner last night, and I won the silent auction for the RECOIL magazine auction with Chris Cheng's
really?
T-shirt. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks, John.
I walked out without even checking to see if I won, and so I did win.
Congratulations.
What a guy.
So we're going to talk about that actually in the next segment. It's really, really cool. We talked about it last week on the phone, and we're going to get a little update from Chris on that. But that's cool. I didn't know you won that. Congratulations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. First time ever I won at the Gun Prom.
And you probably only bought one ticket, right?
Well, no, it's a silent auction.
Oh, it's silent.
It's a silent auction.
Yeah, he ended up taking me home in a form that was maybe unanticipated.
I see how
that was the goal.
All right,
Alrighty,
so we have
on
that note. Now he's all frazzled. Chris.
Yeah, really.
Oh, you can't frazzle me that easily.
Heck no, he's a lawyer.
Yeah, he's John Dillon, lawyer extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire. Okay, so here's the question. It came in, actually, I said caller. It came in via email. Hello, my name is, I'm not going to say. I used to be a gun owner before I lost my rights in 2014. After the events the last 2 years, my wife has expressed interest in her buying and owning a gun here at the house. We're unsure if it's legally possible to do that. I asked around and pointed your direction, blah, blah, blah. So the question is, can my wife own and keep a gun at the house with me being a felon?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question, and unfortunately, it applies to a lot of families, couples, even roommates all over California. It's a little too easy to get a felony these days. So basically, in generally speaking, just because your spouse gets convicted of a felony, that does not mean that you lose your Second Amendment rights. So it is definitely possible. Theoretically, there's nothing against the spouse buying, purchasing, owning a gun and keeping the gun in the home. But the more practical aspect of it is it's actually a lot more difficult to stay within the bounds of the law. Because, if you do have a felony, you can't be in possession of a gun. And the law can interpret possession in very loose terms. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to have it in your hand. It can be more akin to just having access to the gun. So if someone were to have a gun like the wife in this situation, it would have to be locked up in a DOJ-approved safe at all times. The spouse with the felony could have no access to it, meaning they don't know the code to the safe. They have no ability to retrieve the gun in any way, shape, or form, and that would theoretically and technically be within the law. But again, practically, it's going to be a lot tougher. If you want a gun, be able to defend yourself in your home. A lot of people, especially people who don't have kids, they put it in the nightstand next to the bed if they need to retrieve it quickly, or they take your gun out of your safe because you're going to go to the range, so you put it in your range bag. At that point, it becomes a lot more difficult to stay within the bounds of law, especially if the person is current with the felony is in the home with you. They sleep in the same bedroom as you do, and that's where your gun safe is. It just makes it very difficult not to do something unintentional that would give that felon access to that firearm. And there's two real criminal statutes you got to worry about here. It's one, which is felon in possession, which is if the person with the felony has possession of the gun in any way. That's another felony charge that could be really bad. The other one is actually criminal storage of a firearm. We have these laws in California, and a lot of people, when they bring up the criminal storage laws, it has, it's always in the context of children. You can't, leave a gun lying around and let a kid have access to it. But if you actually look at the letter of the law under that statute, it actually says children or prohibited persons. So if you, the owner of the gun, allow even the ability for this prohibited person to access the firearm, you're putting yourself in the way of some criminal liability there if anything ever goes wrong. So although it is possible, you have to be extraordinarily diligent in how the process of how the gun is stored, and if someone's in the house, like it never comes out, or your spouse has to leave. If you ever want to go to the gun range, they got to leave the house before you retrieve the gun from the safe, and then you can pack that up securely in the car and leave. So while it is possible, it is very hard practically not to run afoul of the law.
Hey, John.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, John, I just wanted to ask, if someone was a felon, right, and they did something, say, 10 years ago, and like you were saying, you don't have to murder someone to become a felon. It's easier than that. But is there any way that person, say they've been fined for the last 10 years, is there any way they can get their rights back? Or if they can, is that a difficult thing, or how does that work?
Well, there's basically two real ways in California to restore your firearm rights after a felony conviction. And it is highly dependent on the exact circumstances, what you were charged with. But in general, one, it would be what's called a 17B reduction. So it's a motion to the courts to reduce your conviction from, a felony to a misdemeanor. And the key language there is for all purposes. And under 17B reductions, you can restore rights. Only certain convictions are eligible for that, and there's a whole set of circumstances that apply that you got to figure out if you fall in line with all that. That is one way, and then the other way is a governor's pardon, and that's it's a Hail Mary on those. I've worked with people who have done certificates of rehabilitation and applications for governor's pardons, but they're few and far between. It's really, once it goes in front of the desk, it's just a matter of if the governor at the time chooses to sign that pardon or not.
John, does that depend on the governor? Because some governors,
There's no doubt about it.
Some governors are pro guns, some governors are not pro guns. So would that be
and also you get governors who are more willing to deal with criminal justice reform, or deal with accept the fact that someone can change their life years down the road after a felony conviction, and some who just are, hey, once a felon, always a felon. You're always going to be a bad person. So there's a lot of aspects that come into play, but that is truly the Hail Mary to get a governor's pardon. But the 17B reduction is the most typical way of getting
the easier
it
route.
Qualify.
The easier route.
Well, so in California, there's a big push. California is mostly Democrats, and the Democrats are. They're kind of anti-felony. They part of their criminal justice reform agenda has kind of made them anti-felony, because if you're a felon, if you have a felony, it ruins your life basically. So they're trying to basically strip away consequences of being a felon, except when it comes to guns. In fact, they're going the other way around. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are some misdemeanor gun stuff that basically you end up with some of the same consequences as if you were a felon, because it's gun related, right?
Oh yeah, one that sneaks up on a lot of people is the Federal Misdemeanor Domestic Violence Act. So if at any point in the past you were convicted of any type of misdemeanor domestic violence, you are prohibited for life. And a lot of people, maybe it's just due to the times, charges and convictions for misdemeanor domestic violence back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. 40 years later, they've never been in trouble ever since then. But they try to buy a gun and they're prohibited. And I routinely explain to people, it's that misdemeanor conviction. 30 years ago, that was a lifetime prohibition. But there's any number of misdemeanors in California that don't even have to do with a violent act that will lead to a 5, 10, or even lifetime prohibitions.
And that G. Gordon Liddy used to. G. Gordon Liddy, he was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
His felony was the Nixon Watergate scandal, right? So he used to say on his radio show, he said, "Well, I'm a felon, so I can't own a gun, but Mrs. Liddy has quite the collection." That's what he used to say. Believe it or not, Chris and Ursula, we're living in the golden age of concealed carry. Joe is going to fill us in on it after this.
But first, primeres.com/Alpine, PRMI Mortgage. Are you in the military? Are you looking for help for a VA loan? Well, if you're looking to buy, refi, or maybe you're just considering a reverse mortgage, you can call our local mortgage guy that you can trust. Call Chris Wiley at PRMI Mortgage. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. Give Chris a call at 619-722-1303 or just go to primeres.com/Alpine. Well, Mr. Dramisi, tell us about your golden age of concealed carry.
Well, I thought I'd write about something a little happier today. You get into the seems like I'm writing about depressing stuff. I'm getting to
you
be
and
like
Dillon both.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the John Dillon of the blog world here or something.
You are.
So I thought, let me write about something happy. So with the concealed carry, and I've talked about this before with calling it the golden age of concealed carry, because we really are here. I mean, it's hard to see sometimes, living in one of the oppressed states like we do. But realistically, across the country, the Second Amendment and that kind of stuff is alive and well in America. So just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And Dr. John Lott from the Crime Prevention Research Center comes out with does an annual report, I think, every year because it's annual. But the 2021 came out, and he's talking about concealed carry permit holders across the country. And just wanted to throw out some numbers related to this. The report, I linked to it in the article, and it's a pretty easy read, but it's very interesting to go through and check it out. But we're up to 21.5 million permit holders in the country now across the United States. And that's a 48% increase since 2016. So just in 5 years, that's gone up almost 50%. And 21 states nowadays have constitutional carry, which means they don't require a permit at all. for people to carry concealed, which is there's good and bad with that, I think, but overall, that's a good thing. The only thing being,
I didn't mean to cut
no,
you
go
off.
ahead.
What is the bad? I'll tell you honestly.
I'll tell you the bad.
Look at, they're all grabbing
go
the
mics.
mics.
Yeah, I got bad.
They're all jumping on the mics.
Let's go around the room and talk about the bad. Joe, you start. What's the bad of
the only
constitutional carry?
bad thing I don't like about it is people don't get a chance to learn about what you can do, what you can't do, because there's no requirement. It's just, okay, you can go for a gun, carry the gun. And the laws, like John would agree with, are not logical. They're not rational. And I'm afraid people can get themselves in trouble because there's no requirement. But on the other hand, you're giving the responsibility to the people. Say, hey, you want to carry one of these, it's up to you to learn that stuff. So that would be my only reservation.
Because we have enough government already, you know, overreaching into our rights in the first place with them actually like overseeing, any type of permits. Let's just say that, granted, here, in order for you to get your CCW, you have to go through what? Like, what are the state requirements here?
Yeah, but you haven't got enough time.
An 8-hour course,
8-hour
a shooting
class,
part of it.
All this type of stuff.
Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff.
But you're actually going to their...
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you 100%.
Their satisfaction.
Yeah, it should be none of their business.
But it should be. It absolutely should be that gun owner's responsibility for them to learn. So I actually been fighting this on my social media.
Mm-hmm.
I have this segment, my own personal segment, called How Your Man Shoots. And what it is that I get...
Wait.
Yes.
One more time.
How Your Man Shoots.
Nice.
And the main reason why I started it was because I came across a lot of women. They're like, oh, I don't need to carry because my man carries. My man got a gun. Then I go to the range and see they're scaring paper. Like, it's just really bad. They're shooting horribly. And I'm like, so I start filming them and actually throwing it up on Instagram. Like, hey, this is how your man shoots right here. This is why it's important for you to protect yourself.
Oh my God.
This is why you need to go out and learn how to carry a gun, learn how to protect yourself, use different options, things like that. Because if you're going to depend your life on this cat, you're going to die.
And by the way, how did we jump over Chris?
Oh,
because Ursula does that.
Grab that.
No, we went from
said
Joe.
go around the room.
Yeah.
Well, around the room would mean that Chris was
exact
next.
path.
Well, he was right next. Mike's next to me, so I figured it was my turn.
Did you see that? She just took that.
I don't blame her. Listen, I'm not gonna.
You're not getting in that.
No,
She
absolutely
does
not.
carry.
Yes.
And then he turns to me like I'm gonna do something. Dave is out for me today, man.
Well, I haven't seen you in so long.
But like I said, the personal responsibility should be on that gun owner.
It should. No,
Same thing with driving.
I said it was my own reservation.
That was going to be mine.
Oh, sorry.
I'm the car guy.
Oh yeah,
That's
that should
okay.
be yours. Yeah.
Now
So-
can he talk?
Chris can talk now.
Yeah. What do you think? Good.
Yeah,
good,
you
bad?
know, the good part, right, about constitutional carry is you can freely exercise your right to self-defense. But I do agree with Joe, right, that there is this risk of people who will not be responsible about learning what their local and state laws are, and they may inadvertently get themselves into trouble.
Well, aren't those called crooks?
There's part of that, but I think there's also just the unintentional, or the gun owner who doesn't know what their local law is, right? They think they can, or they don't understand the ethical and legal consequences of, exercising your right to self-defense. If, like, let's say if you deploy a firearm out in public, right, that those even just brandishing a firearm, right, depending on which jurisdiction and municipal rules and laws, if you don't understand what may happen to you, right, nobody wants to be in that position, right? You want to be trained, and I agree, right? It's like, well, it's on the individual to train and to understand, but, right, we just know that not everybody
You
does.
can't rely on the general public. They're wackos.
But right, yeah, but the flip side of this is, right, we can't necessarily have the government, right, mandating, what that training looks like, and also the cost. Like the cost, it's like, right, there's not many, and I don't know if there's any constitutional right out there that requires you to pay money to exercise your constitutional rights. That's another part where I have a problem. If you're going to have to pay for CCW, pay for an education, so it is a little bit of a slippery slope. But I think we have to be biased on the side of freedom and liberty here, and give people the choice.
So I give the responsibility not only to the gun owner, but I will also say to other gun owners as well. And the main reason of that is that even though Arizona, it's constitutional carry, there's still people going out there getting their CCW so they can actually learn the legality of carrying. So, but that knowledge came from other gun owners. Like, hey, you don't know what to do? Guess what? There's this class up the street
seeing that,
or whatever.
but the problem with it is there's, you don't know what you don't know. And, I'm sensitive to it now as an instructor teaching these classes, because we get most people are okay, but you get some people in there that are just, it's scary. I mean, they just should not be doing this. And, it's, and again, I think it's good. It should be, you're an adult. You should be responsible if you're going to do this. And the state should not be controlling that. But, maybe a state paid for 4 hour, hey, this is just the laws that, okay, you're going to get the permit anyway, or there's no permit, but you can do it anyway. But, okay, come in for 4 hours and listen to somebody like John Dillon. Hey, this is what you can do. This is what you can't do. And then after that, you're on your own, because you can't make people be responsible. When you see the shooting part of that, it's just like, sometimes it's like, wow, really? And, it's
There are
like,
cops
you
that
can't
shoot
make people
for the
do that
government.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're either going to do it or they're not going to do it. But that, and again, that's my only kind of reservation. And I don't even know, especially after getting smashed in here now, I don't know if it's even a strong reservation. But that was my only thing that I thought about.
Well, what are the? I mean, when you stop and think, the fact that you guys don't have to take the classes, don't you think the people that don't take the classes probably won't even get a gun? Because wouldn't you say they're more afraid of the gun unless that No. Yes.
So, because I'm a CCW instructor,
Right.
in Arizona. So, like, there's a lot of people, they'll actually go out and get their CCW first before even getting a gun. And that's one thing that I've seen in my classes.
Really?
So they're like, well, I don't even know how to shoot, but let me just learn the legality. Because I also cover different guns, gun
Gotcha.
selection,
Yeah.
carry techniques, and things to consider when you're looking for a gun. I put that in my class. But, like, there's, like, let me learn, the law and legal first, and then I can start looking at my carry options and what I want to do.
Or maybe I won't carry.
Yeah, and I've
After
actually
I
had
do
a couple.
that, do the legal say, yeah.
Yep, I've had a couple people that are like, I don't feel comfortable with a gun, but I can carry a taser. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're still going to have the same legality. So I've had it.
That's a good point, because I think that's in everybody's individual. But I agree, government should not get their 2 cents in.
A little bit there.
All right, folks, if you're all wondering what we're doing, we're trying to decide if Charlie Gasparino looks like Joe Germisi. And I think he does. So
In
that's-
that
we're waiting
last
for
picture,
comments.
a little bit in that last picture.
yeah. Well, you got to watch him on TV. He has the same mannerisms. They're both extremely intelligent. By the
save.
way, folks, welcome back to FM 96.1 AM 1170 Gun Owners Radio.
The answer.
Hey, yeah, really.
Didn't quite fit, but
That's all right. It always fits.
top,
Yeah. Ooh.
top,
10
Top
second delay.
shot.
10 second delay.
Top Shot Chris Cheng is in the studio.
Hello. Good
No,
afternoon.
you can't talk yet. I got to
We're
spend
still
some money.
Listen, very coordinated, professional
Very
show
much.
here, Chris.
You're never going to get your Oscar.
Dang.
Hey, we are so proud to partner with the National Concealed Carry Association as a 10-ring partner. NCCA exists to serve the Second Amendment community by providing a nationwide network of 2A advocates. Offers elite self-defense and concealed carry training from the nation's top instructors and provide rock-bottom prices on the best selection of gear and accessories. Join them today. Members get great prices and free shipping. Learn more about them at the National Concealed Carry Association.com. And ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Mr. Cheng.
Hello. I
Come
can
on,
talk
man.
now, right?
Yes, you can
Okay.
talk.
Phew.
No,
I got permission.
yes, you did.
How did you? So we were talking when you were before you came in the studio. We were talking about Gun Prom. Did you enjoy?
Gun Prom was incredible. And, I've been a Second Amendment advocate for the past 10 years, traveled all across the country, been to so many counties here in California, and I have never seen anything as impressive and successful, especially at a county level, right, as last night's Gun Prom, right, seeing 1,000 attendees from all different walks of life and ethnic backgrounds and just you name it. It was an incredible event. I'm really impressed, and hats off to everyone here at San Diego County Gun Owners and all the volunteers and staff members. It was really impressive.
And we only had 999.
Wow.
Thank you, Chris. That means a lot. Thank you. The thing I'll tell you real quick. When we started San Diego County Gun Owners, I definitely wanted a Second Amendment celebration dinner. I wanted a nice big showpiece, and I wanted to grow it in size and importance. And I remember thinking, I want it to be so big that and so important that gun shops close early so that they can attend. And this was the first year that happened.
Did it really?
Yeah, it was cool. On Facebook, I follow all the gun shops on Facebook, and at least 3 of them, posted that, hey, we're closing early. One gun shop completely closed all day, and that was kind of cool.
Oh, they were the drunks in the corner?
Yeah. I know that's kind of a small, but it was just kind of neat. That was a neat little thing where it's like, hey, cool.
Well, it's a sign of acceptance.
Yeah,
I would think.
And for me, it's indicative of that there is a ground shift that's been happening here over the past 5-6 years since y'all have been doing this amazing work here. And, I'm an Orange County native. I was born in Mission Viejo. My mother-in-law, is also here in San Diego. So it's like I know Southern California, and I grew up here. But, when I was growing up, was talking about the Second Amendment and, like, gun culture, CCW, like, that just wasn't really a thing that happened out in the open, like at a gun prom. Right? And so to see the amount of people, the amount of political support also that I saw last night, like the cultural tides here are distinctly changing here in California. And I think what stood out to me the most is seeing proud gun owners last night, right? There's this culture, I think, of fear and intimidation that a lot of the gun control groups, they try and shame gun owners, right? That every time there's some mass shooting, it's like, oh, right, gun owners, right, we're somehow complicit, right, in these crimes. Like, that's just absolutely not true. And we all have to have the courage of our convictions to stand up and say, right, I'm a gun owner, and I believe in a free and safe republic, and that a big part of that is my right and your right and your right and everyone's right to own a firearm, as long as, right, we're not committing any crimes. And so last night's gun prom, I like I said, I just think it was jaw-dropping and incredibly impressive to see. For me, it was just really obvious that things are moving in the right direction for gun rights, particularly here in San Diego, and I think here in Southern California, and hopefully, I'm in San Francisco, so I hope that one of these days that that tide and that momentum will come up north, and we'll take back our state is really what this is about.
Well, that's huge praise. Thank you, Chris. That's very, very awesome. I think my next goal is I want not just one but 2 really popular gun competitors. To not from San Diego, but to actually come in from out of town just to attend gun prom, then I know we've made it. Maybe even the cherry on the cake could be one of them could be black, the other one could be Asian, and that.
Ursula. You can get them on the radio.
Do you know anybody? Do you guys?
Then they stay long enough to be on the radio. Then I know
she's grabbing the mic.
But until then, it's just another. I'm sorry. All right.
Well, thank you for inviting us.
It was awesome.
Right.
It was awesome. So, Chris, talk about your big donation to the dinner.
Yeah. So last night we had a silent auction item. It was the RECOIL magazine issue 56 with me on the cover, advocating for this simple message that the Second Amendment is for everyone. Right. Hashtag 2A for all specifically is this what this cover art represents, and particularly it's about reaching out to the LGBT community and to the Asian community and making a very clear stand that the Second Amendment is not just for white people.
Right.
It's for everyone.
Even though he did win the book.
Yeah. So yeah, the auction item was great, right? It was a autographed, copy of the magazine plus a copy of this great shirt that I'm wearing.
Is that the shirt?
This is the shirt.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great shirt, and right. So
what's the story behind the shirt?
Yeah, the shirt. Well, I just bought it on Amazon, believe it or not.
You didn't make it?
No, I did not make it. But for me, I chose this shirt because what it is.
Open your jacket.
It is a distressed American flag in LGBT rainbow colors.
Right.
And for me, it represents the hyper polarized environment and controversial cancel culture that we live in today, that for me, it's really unacceptable, right? That we're losing the ability to have civil conversations where we may not agree on everything, but at least let's talk about it. And for me, as a diversity and inclusion advocate, I believe that diversity and inclusion should be everywhere, right? Doesn't matter, right? Whether it's in the Second Amendment space, the First Amendment space, in corporations, what is life about, right? Life is about having a diverse set of friends and thinkers, attitudes and opinions, because that's what makes life interesting, right? When we don't have this mono-think culture and group-think culture, but we can have a competition of ideas, right? That's a big part of what capitalism and what freedom is based on, is this free-flowing conversation and competition of ideas. It's less about people; it's more about, right, what does freedom and liberty mean versus authoritarianism and government control.
Right.
So that's what this shirt stands for me, and that the LGBT community, right, we're just as American as everybody else. We just want to be left alone. We don't want the government intruding in our lives. We want to protect ourselves, right, whether it's with a firearm or with whatever means, right. We just want to be safe and happy and live our American dream just like everybody else here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well said.
Yeah. So John, talk about the big cutting edge technology thing.
I sound like
my dad.
Yeah,
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
So last week I was on the show. We were talking about this new technology called NFT, right? Non-fungible tokens. But the easiest way to think about it is it's just this new form of digital collectibles. It's just mind-blowing to see how, as an example, the NBA. The NBA, they have a brand called Top Shot. Nothing to do with my Top Shot that I was on the History Channel, but the NBA has sold over $700 million worth of NFTs in the form of video collector's cards.
Wow.
They have over 500,000 users, $700 million plus in annual revenue. And this is just in 1 year, right? In one short year, this NFT technology is opening up opportunities for brands, for sports leagues, to connect and reach their audiences in ways that we never before imagined. So I'm excited for the potential of NFTs in the firearm space, for the gun community. I have this RECOIL auction starting this Tuesday, where we are minting 10 copies of the RECOIL cover magazine that I'm on, and we are auctioning off this first ever of its kind digital art.
That's
right?
awesome.
And yeah, it's groundbreaking. There's this whole digital art movement, right? That's also happening. So this is the first shot across the bow. I'm really excited for some more things that I'm working on with NFTs, but this is, again, it's the opening salvo, as they say.
Cool.
Wow.
Well, that's very cool. I can't tell you how. I think this is our. I mean, have you featured this anywhere else? Is this the first event where you featured this?
Well, let's find out. If you have legal matters that involve firearms, that you need to call Attorney John Dillon, especially if you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you need to know that your guns are California compliant. Call our trusted firearms attorney, John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws, 760-642-7150. Or you can just go to his website at dillonlawgp.com. All right, let's get back to that collectible thing that you can't put in your pocket.
What are they? Non-frangible?
Non-fungible token.
Fungible.
Fungible.
Yeah.
And the question was, you generously donated one to our dinner last night, which John Dillon won, right?
So yeah, the fun bonus multiplier that John is now eligible for is this NFT digital art auction that I'm holding with RECOIL magazine that starts this Tuesday at nft.recoilweb.com. Now, if John is one of the top 5 winners of the actual NFT auction, he gets an extra ticket to the in-person fun shoot that me and RECOIL that we're going to be holding at a future date. So yeah,
Wow.
more free guns and ammo.
Can he bring a friend or
exactly? John can bring whoever he wants. So let's say there's a friend here, maybe in the studio that he wants to bring,
or 4 of them.
Yeah.
So
stop looking over there.
Let's
Look
go
over here.
Let's go back. Let's go
not
back
gonna
to
help
this fungible thing. Is it something you could put in your hand?
It's all digital, right?
So you can't hold it in your hand and look at it.
No, well, you can look at it if it's on maybe your phone or on your computer.
Okay.
Right? It's a brand new way of collecting items, right?
How does
It's
it
all
show
digital.
value? How does it generate value?
So yeah, right. There's this it's a digital ecosystem, right, where you have authenticated proof of ownership, right? It's almost like digital rights management it's transparent, it's publicly available. If I own a particular, this RECOIL cover art, that I'm auctioning off, I am the content creator, right? And everyone's going to see if you're bidding on one of these 10 RECOIL NFTs, right, that it's coming from me, right? And so there's, like in the real world, quote unquote, right, where does value derive from, right? It can derive from what is the item itself, right? And if it's a particular piece of art, for example, that evokes emotion, right? If you are all for the Second Amendment, if you're about spreading, right, that freedom and that liberty to all corners of our country, that's what this cover art stands for. So, right, value can derive from does the art mean something to viewers and consumers? Also, right, where is it coming from, right? It's one thing if there's just some random person, right, who's creating art, but you don't know who they are, you don't know who the artist is, or you don't know who the owner is. But with this new digital collectible format, people can see, okay, right, it's coming from Shot Chris Cheng. I'm a public person, a known entity and quantity. So that's where additional value comes in. This is an official partnership with RECOIL magazine, right? So there's additional authenticity and proof of content creation.
Where do you store it? Can you store it on your phone?
You create a digital wallet, right? So there's all these new companies, right, that are basically providing digital wallet services.
Okay.
So you can store your NFTs. You can store your Bitcoin, right, or your other cryptocurrencies in your digital wallet.
Where is that at?
There's many places.
In my back pocket?
Not in your back pocket, unless it's on your phone. But
you wouldn't want it on your phone. What if you lost your phone?
So here's actually the in brief. So you can have your digital wallet stored online on the internet, but you can also have your digital wallet goods stored offline on a mobile device like your phone. That some people actually put it on airplane mode and they'll stick it in a safe deposit box, like in a bank, or in a gun safe, or in a safe in your home. So basically, it reduces the hackability, right?
Is it a chip? I mean, is it like an SD card?
No, it's just it's just software, right? It's basically
You're not going to convince me, unless I can touch it. Am I? Are you losing me, Mike, or am I losing you?
No.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but I also understand what he's saying, and I'm wondering if there's a delta.
Yeah. So I want to go back. This NBA Top Shot experience, right? This is a real world example, right? You have 500,000 new users who have signed on to this website, right? And they've paid over $780 million in a year buying, trading, and selling clips of their favorite NBA players, slam dunks, and all sorts of game-winning shots. They're in the whole concept of digital goods. It's existed for at least 20-some years, mostly in games. It's like people who pay 99 cents, for the power-up, or you buy a weapon, or you buy extra lives, right? So these are all sort of forms of digital goods, right? But the difference between then and now is when you're buying, let's say, right, a digital weapon, usually it lives in that game, and you can't. It's not portable.
Get it out. Yeah,
you can't use that digital weapon in other games, but here's this new technology that can allow me to use items in my digital wallet across different ecosystems, whether it's a game, whether I want to trade them. I was actually talking to John Dillon last night about he's got a relative who used to play Diablo, and this is a computer game where you basically can create weapons and armor, and he had a relative who made enough money where he bought a Hummer.
Wow. In
real life. Basically creating these weapons and digital goods and selling them to other players.
Really?
Right? So this has existed for decades, but it's now really coming into the applications for it are tremendous.
They're endless.
And for the gun community, I think there are just radically mind-blowing implications for how we can use this technology to abstract the conversation around gun rights. And so what I mean by that is, if you're going to be collecting digital cards, right, of firearms, that's much less controversial than actually collecting firearms, right? And if you have a global audience who could buy a collector's card of their favorite, handgun, shotgun, AR-15, whatever, it's a way for us to open up those conversations, right? If you are collecting radios or baseball cards, right, there's a conversation, right? There's a culture of conversation and talking about the things you collect in real life or things that you collect online, right? It's a way for us to open up the Second Amendment discussion to new audiences who maybe at first they're just going to, collect NFT guns, but right, they're going to run into someone at some point in the same ecosystem who's going to be like, hey, you know what? Like, here's why I bought this AR-15 NFT, because I believe in the Second Amendment. Or, hey, I own a real AR-15. You want to go to the range and shoot with me and see what the differences between this digital collectible and like the real thing, right? So I think there's a lot of conversations and opportunity for us to educate and to spread gun culture and have these great, rich conversations.
Joe?
Yes.
What do you think? You're awful quiet over there.
I did beat Diablo first weekend I had it, by the way.
Did you?
Of course you did.
And your Hummer is where?
I didn't get a Hummer for it.
I want to know how many upgrades did you buy?
Yeah.
Have you heard of this before, Ursula?
No, I have not. I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Because like we both like tangible.
Yeah, I want to hold
Yes.
it. I want to.
Instead of like just something digital where I feel like it could fail. I think that's probably why I don't really run red dots on pistols. It's because of the whole technology thing. Because red dots will fail.
Well, see, and that was my thinking on it too.
Well, it took you long enough.
Well, I was about to answer, and then I lost it again.
Sorry.
No, that's what I was thinking. Exactly what you are, because I just went through this the other night with the gun prom thing, where they said you could put this once you do the express check-in, you could put this in your digital wallet. And I was thinking, I don't have one of those. I don't want one of those. Because I part of it's a generational thing too. It's like.
But you're a tangible guy as well.
Well, yeah, and I understand exactly what Chris is saying, and it's cool and everything. But I hate that I have to have one of these in the first place, and I'm trying to get away from that rather than get.
Yeah, but it wouldn't
So,
necessarily go there.
But you said it earlier. It's a generational thing.
Yeah,
this is a way to get in the younger generation, the guns. Because what a lot of gun makers or even a lot of your gunsmiths have been doing for a while is mocking guns in a lot of video games. So that's when a lot of the theme pistols came up, or like, there's ARs designed as like the Mandalorian, and just there's all types of styles and designs out there where kids see these guns in these video games, and then when they become of age, they're like, hey, I really want to shoot that gun.
Yeah, and if that works, that's a great way in. Yeah,
so
that's a great way to use that.
Sure. Get your younger generations in, the ones that are dependent on or a little more versed in a lot of digital stuff. Like it took me like
you
forever.
were right the first time. Depended.
Definitely depended.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm like.
You were right the first time.
But I'm in that generation where it's like, I'd rather have something tangible, but I'm still gonna get some crypto because on the off chance that everybody's right about this.
I still read the newspaper.
I still got to diversify.
I still read the newspaper. You know what I mean? I like the newspaper. I like magazines.
Yeah. Every single bathroom in my house has a whole bunch of magazines and stuff. Just in case you forget your phone.
But you can get that online.
Yeah. But I actually do like having tangible magazines.
But Chris, I totally get where you're coming from. You're not dealing with us older generation.
Right. And, I think part of it is, right, we have newer generations who've grown up in a digital first,
they know nothing
only
else.
Right, environment. And what I'm trying to say here is that we need to go to where the puck is going. Right? If we're going to take the hockey,
is that in hockey?
Yes, indeed. Right? It's like, right, you can't go to where the puck is. You have to go to where the puck is going, right? If you want to win, right? If you want to win the game, right? We have to understand the trends that are happening. It doesn't matter whether, us as an individual, right, wants to collect digital items.
Right.
It's about understanding that there are millions of people who do.
Right.
And this is the next frontier of I think social impact, of cultural discussions, also just fun, right? Part of my excitement about digital collectibles is, I want to bring a new level of fun to firearms and firearms culture and conversation and how we learn about gun history. And I see NFTs and digital collectibles as
So how many do you have?
I own 4 NFTs at the moment. None of them are guns, though, but 2 basketball ones. I might be bidding on some art here soon. But anyways, I think the point is, when I think about like how an organization such as San Diego County Gun Owners, right, could utilize an NFT, like digital collectible format, one piece that's going on here is, right, so people like to have memorabilia about their experiences, right? So let's say as part of buying my 2022 Gun Prom ticket, right, that I get a digital badge, right, that says I went to Gun Prom 2022. And then, right, next year after that, right, people can collect all
like
of these
the pins,
badges,
like the old pins, and
yes, and it's similar. Like there are gun folks who have patch boards, right? So they collect patches, right, and they're peacocking, right, showing off all the patches and coins and badges that they have. There's a very similar
Is that the
dynamic
new word
here.
now? Peacocking.
Yeah, well, it's everyone loves to show off their stuff, but
Who, us?
yeah. One last idea, right? So there's this other other concept of fractional ownership. So if you can imagine, right, maybe San Diego County Gun Owners sells a $5 NFT that is $5 worth of a partial membership, right? And every few months you can release another NFT, collect your badge, and basically help people build their way up to, additional membership levels. And again, it's like a great branding opportunity for San Diego County Gun Owners, or really any organization that wants to get in on this.
I know somebody that works there. I'm going to run these ideas by him. See what he says.
You need to get a hobby. No, I'm only kidding.
I'm so offended.
I know you are. All right, Mike. What are we going to do to the kid today?
We're going to stump my nephew. For those who are listening for the first time, we have a segment here that's extremely popular. Stump My Nephew. My nephew happens to know a lot about guns. We found out he's really good at gun trivia. If you mail in or email in.
Mail
like
it. Mail it.
Yeah,
I
mail
like
it
getting
in.
letters.
Yeah, mail it and get a stamp.
If you are there non-frangible stamps? I just totally messed that up. Fungible?
Fungible.
They're non-fungible stamps that you can buy?
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming.
Anyway, if you send us a question and we use it on the air, we'll give you a hat or a shirt. If you stump my nephew, we'll give you a lifetime of training from Front Sight. Sam, you there?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Fantastic. How are you?
Pretty good.
Now, you're on air with Chris Cheng from Top Shot. Do you know who he is?
I do.
Awesome. Well, he's here talking.
Hello.
And
Great to have you on.
And Ursula Williams, who's a 3-gun champion extraordinaire. Do you know who she is?
I've heard the name.
Heard the name.
Thanks.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right.
Hey, that's on the East Coast, girl.
I know.
All right. Well, Ursula has a question for you.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, let's have it.
All right. So, which brand of firearms feature the proprietary FlaTec technology?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Which brand of firearms or firearm manufacturer features the proprietary FlaTec technology?
And that's FLATEC.
FLATEC.
2 words.
Uh-oh.
No,
He's usually peacocking by now.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
I haven't the faintest clue. I'm sorry to disappoint.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a clue.
This is a very rare. Okay, yeah, give him a clue.
I'm gonna give you a clue. Are you watching us on like YouTube right now?
No.
No?
No,
Maybe
it's probably
not.
No, I'm just calling in with a home telephone.
Yeah. With a flip
landline?
phone. Flip phone.
So it's actually one of my sponsors.
That's not gonna help.
That's the hint?
No,
because he just
I
politely.
guess you need to know me, huh?
All right, go ahead.
All right,
Who's
what's
your
the
sponsor?
answer?
Staccato.
You know, that explains why I'm not familiar with it. I That's a little out of my price range.
So you do know STI changed their name to Staccato back in March of last year.
Yeah, we at the shop we constantly get people coming in asking after those, but it's difficult to stock $3,000 1911s.
2011s, but cool.
Okay, so I take it you're one of those who always steps in and corrects 2011. But yeah,
no, I don't. I'm not on that FUD level, but it's just one of those things where it's like it's still 1911 technology that got souped up a little bit. That's pretty much it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm really impressed by what they've been able to do with their pistols. I haven't had the chance to shoot one, but I've handled them, and it's amazing how smooth everything is. Completely fresh from the factory, and I'm very envious that you're sponsored by them.
Well, what's the most significant change between a 1911 and a 2011? Or did we just stump you again?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the biggest change that you'll see, because other companies sell 1911s as 2011s. I believe it's just that they use double stack magazines, but Staccato also makes single stack pistols. So I don't know if that's completely correct.
No, that's pretty much it. That was the main reason.
So I guess the question is there a single stack 2011, or is it all double stack?
There are some people who actually refer to some of the Staccato, basically the Staccato C and the R, which they don't even make anymore. Some people will call them single stack 2011s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird.
What's the biggest? What's the most significant change between a single stack 2011 and a 1911? We know.
Most of the time, it's going to be caliber.
Fancier.
Everything's exactly fancier. Made just a little bit. They're made a little bit tighter.
Wait, Ursula. A single stack 2011 is basically a 1911.
But,
all right,
hey,
then the kid was right. I got to defend my nephew here.
But main change outside of just that is going to be your caliber choices.
Yeah.
So most of your 2011 is going to run in 9 mils, 38 supers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And also there's a couple 40s floating around there as well.
Nobody likes 40.
You know what?
Does anybody like 40?
For USPSA, everybody loves 40 because 40 is going to be
40 just gets you into major power factor, right?
Yep. It gets you in a major, but you don't have basically capacity issues as you would if you were shooting 45. So that's why a lot of shooters prefer 40 for USPSA. And plus you get more points by shooting major power factor, and then that's a whole nother rabbit hole TV show or radio show we can go down another time. But other than that,
So do you carry 20? Do you have a 20? Is one of your Staccatos a 2011?
They're all technically they all are, but
they all are.
Even my single stack ones.
Your single stack 2011 is exactly like a 1911. That's funny.
But he did not know that it was Staccatos.
Yeah, bringing it right back. All right, my friend. Well, you can't win them all, Sam. Can't win them all.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint.
But you definitely need to shoot one.
You got to send him one.
Maybe you can send him one.
Send him one.
Or what? He probably live in New Jersey or somewhere.
No, he lives in Virginia. Yeah.
I think
don't have any
we
laws.
can do what we call freedom experiences, where we actually go around the U.S., pick out different gun ranges, and people can come down and shoot all of them.
Virginia, have you ever been to Virginia?
I have not.
Well, then there you go.
All right, I'll
pack
take a look
it up,
at
girl. Pack it up.
See if we can do it.
I don't think
that'd be kind of fun.
She doesn't go state to state and just let people shoot her guns. That's not what she's talking about.
No,
You're saying that
No. Yeah, she does.
that is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I do both. So like every time they come to Arizona, or
You just can't do California.
No, but I might have to do for a special like off roster day for y'all.
Well, no, you could bring it in. I'm sure. What's your magazine capacity though?
A lot.
Yeah.
But
That's illegal.
You don't have any guns that are 10 or fewer, right?
One.
You have one gun.
Actually,
is it a Staccato?
Two. They're both Staccatos.
Couldn't we meet at the desert? Can we meet out in the desert?
I'm cool with that.
I mean,
Yuma. I'm gonna meet y'all in Yuma.
Yeah.
So you can bring an off-roster gun into California. It's just the magazine issue would be a problem. So you could bring like your two 10-round magazine Staccatos in. You can bring them in.
She won't
so
like
I don't know
it,
if you're.
No, you know I'm gonna bring all of them.
Yeah.
You know you're going to bring
a
all of them.
very felonious day.
Well, I
What's
didn't
gonna
want
be?
felonious. Felonious
You can get pinned magazines, right?
Huh?
Would they send you pinned magazines for use in California?
No.
Please don't look at look on her face.
No.
It's like you just.
She's not even going to bring it up.
First
just
of all, I
kicked
wouldn't
her
even
puppy.
ask them that. Like that is no.
They would look at you and say, "What? Did you move?"
Yep. They're gonna be like, "Why?" Oh, yeah. They're gonna be like, "We're no longer affiliated."
Who
with
was
Ursula
there was
Williams."
another 1911 manufacturer, not STI or Staccato. There was another 1911 manufacturer that had a double stack.
Rock Island does those. In fact, we have one of their 10 millimeter double stacks in the store right now.
And Para Ordnance, that's the other one.
Yes.
They have a double stack 1911.
Yeah, they make this enormous double stack 45 that I can barely fit my hand around. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, we ran out of time to do my mic drop, but I actually liked this a little bit better, so we kept going.
Yeah. Cool.
We don't need a mic drop with you guys. Well,
No, and that mic drop subject will be around for a while anyway.
Around for a while.
Yeah.
We basically had an Ursula drop there.
Unfortunately.
Well, that's awesome. You guys are awesome. I can't tell you, seriously, in from the bottom of my heart, it is truly an honor that you guys came to Gun Prom, that you came into San Diego just to do Gun Prom.
Right.
It really means a lot to me, and I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely, and yeah, right. So much of what we do, you just have to show up. That is the lowest threshold. Is you just have to show up. And
I don't
I'm
remember.
happy to be here.
Yeah, history's made by those who show up.
Yeah.
I forget who said
Instead
that.
of talking the talk, you're walking the walk.
Might be
as the old
me.
saying goes.
I may have said that. I might be. I think I just quoted myself.
Quote Michael.
Which, by the way,
Voice.
that's another dream of mine, is to just quote myself. You know? or better yet, have someone quote me.
But
back
wasn't
to me.
that in Red Dawn?
Yeah.
I think that was in Red Dawn. Where's our assistant? Where's our assistant over here? He'll tell us.
You guys are making someone's dream come true just by showing up and having a party. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks for
Well,
having
thanks.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, are you
Thanks for
kidding?
having us.
Party? I'm coming, right?
Done.
I know.
All right.
It's like twisting arms, right?
Yeah, she only comes to California because it makes her feel better when she goes home. Tell the truth. Outside of the weather.
I know. I do feel better. As soon as I see "Welcome Back to Arizona," I'm like, "Huh."
Oh my God! I made it! I made it! All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I don't know if Mr. Siegel's in the house or not, but if he is, it'll be a great show. Remember, subscribe to our podcast and just search Gun Owners Radio, and you'll find us. Leave a 5-star review to help get the word out, and please support all our great sponsors: San Diego County Gun Owners, U.S. Law Shield, Dillon Law Group, PRMI Mortgage, 365 Glacier Payments, Scott Vincent at Coldwell Banker, Royalty Realty, and National Concealed Carry. Thanks to Joe Dramisi, Michael Schwartz, Sam the Gunman, and Joe Little right here on FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The Answer.